Good day everyone, we are the group 10 and our topic is all about genetically modified organism or the GMO. Here are the objectives of this lesson. The student should be able to identify the issues on genetically modified organisms, discuss the different implications and impact of GMOs, and also the GMO in the Philippine context. What is genetically modified organisms or the GMO? The GMO or genetically modified organism is the term used for an organism created through genetic engineering. According to the World Health Organization in 2014, they defined the GMO as organisms, either plant, animals, or microorganisms in which a genetic material or DNA has been altered in that does not occur naturally or by mating or recombinations. Here are some successful stories of the GMO. In 1951, Miss Rosalie Elasus, she was a former overseas Filipino worker in Singapore turned to be a farmer. She attended an integrated pest management. It is a farmer's field school where she was introduced to a genetically modified organisms, that is the corn. So she volunteered to have a demo testing on her farm. Before the GMO was introduced to her, she just harvested 4.2 tons per hectares, and when the GMO corn was introduced to her, she harvested 7.2 tons per hectares. Now, in 1951, the term genetic engineering was coined by Jack Williamson. He was an author of the fiction novel Dragon Islands. It was according to the Stanford 2004. Through the continuous research for development, the genetic engineering was no longer stayed in the fiction, in science novel. It became reality in the science laboratory. Okay. An antibiotic-resistant E. coli bacteria was created in 1973. However, despite the many possibilities of creating solutions to problems and opening doors to innovations, genetic engineering also faces some rejections and oppositions. It is because the opponents raised some issues like ethical, the social, and the environmental issues to the genetic modified organisms. So the GMOs in the food and agriculture industries. The Center of Ecogenetics and Environmental Health, or CEEH, identified the following rules of the GMO. Number 1, it is a pest resistance. The genetically modified organisms in plants could resist pests like corn borers, or we call it as worm. Example of this is the genetically modified organisms in corn. As we can see as farmers, it is one of their problems, especially when they are going to harvest the corns. During the stages where the corn bears its has a young corn, the ring borers destroys the corn, so it has a the problem of it, the harvest may decrease. Next to that is the virus resistance. The GMO in plants to resist pests and viruses. The example of this is the GM papaya. The herbicide tolerance. The GMO plants can tolerate herbicides. Example of this is the Roundup Ready soybean. The farmers can spray herbicides without killing the weeds. As of now, the herbicide tolerance, it also applies in the corn. There are also some variety of corn where it is herbicide, can resist herbicides. The name of it is the sige-sige, where even we're going to spray some herbicide on it, only the grass will die, but not the corn. Next is the fortification. The GMO can help fortify the certain minerals. Example of this is the golden rice. The beta-carotene, which is a precursor of vitamin A, was introduced through the biosynthesis to its genes. Next is the cosmetic preservation. Genetically modified plants resist minerals discoloration. Example of this is the Arctic apple. And the increased growth rate. The genetically modified organisms has higher yield in growth compared to its normal species. Example of this is the aqua advanced salmon.